We deal with this every single day. Every dealer, every salesperson that's watching this has dealt with this today. If you haven't dealt with it today, today's Thursday, every single salesperson that's watching this has dealt with this week. Joe's cash flow is hundreds of thousands of dollars per year, possibly millions of dollars per year, at least hundreds of thousands of dollars per year. Joe's net profit, Joe's real income reported to the IRS could be a loss. Could be a loss. He's buying a car in his personal name. Don't tell. We all deal with it. So let's put it out there. This is a serious conversation. What do you put on the credit app? What do you put down? If you put down Joe makes his net income is zero or negative something, you're not selling the car. There's some liability. It happened 99% of the time. And I prove me wrong. 99% of the time, you got to put down Joe's cash flow. And by the way, Joe signs that credit app. Joe signs it, so Joe's attesting to what he makes. It's not the salesperson. It's not the salesperson being, bad. It's not the salesperson being unethical. It is the understanding that this is a complicated situation. Joe is a businessman who, on paper, actually nets less than $30,000 per year, as you'd say. Joe has to operate. So, it's something that, I'm going to give you an example as well. I used to run teamed events. I was at a dealership, and this lady with an 800 Beacon score, like you said, wanted to buy a car, and the payment was $200 a month. She could definitely afford this car, but she made less than the bank's minimum requirement. Now, the salesperson, it was a house salesperson, the salesperson that worked at that dealership actually took the credit app. He put down $3,000 per month, whatever that number was, the minimum. The lady was extremely happy to get such a low payment, but because we were a teamed event in there, the owner of the store said, wait a minute, I know this lady. He was auditing. He said, I know this lady. She doesn't make $3,000 per month. So he called me in his office, asking me about it. I said, I'm not sure, sir, but I do know she's a previous customer. You've sold her cars here before. Let's pull the old file and see what you put. Yeah. As a matter of fact, when they pulled the old file, she made more in the past than she did then. So, it's always a finger pointing thing, Yeah. And it is, Caleb, and I'll let you talk about this and take it from here. But it is something that you do have to consider. And there's a line, because there is black, there is white. There's also gray. What are you going to do when this person can afford the car? Their cash flow will allow them to pay for the car, but the credit app says what is their net or their reportable IRS income.
Right, and that's all I'm saying is that I'm not talking about the guy who really can't afford it and his income gets juiced. I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about real quality people that if we followed every rule that was put in place, we would not sell that person a car. Then that lady leaves the store with an 800 credit score. She goes right down the street and she buys a car because that guy's going to do what it takes to sell her a car. Now, I think it's fine, but my point about communication is don't put that sales manager in a position where he has to sign something saying, hey, if I ever get audited on this deal and the dealership was to face any type of recourse, it's 100% on you as the employee. We're not taking any responsibility. Now we're going to take all the money you make us, but we're going to not give, we're not taking any responsibility for how we made it. And so, that is a communication issue that I'm seeing. And the more stores, we see a lot of stores getting sold to corporate groups. We're seeing these stores buy up dealer, the small independent guys getting bought up, or the single family rooftops are getting bought up into these big dealer groups. And a lot of times the people that are working there stay on board, but the policies change. So we got to make sure that we can have an open communication with our owner, or it's going to keep being like it always has been. And there's going to be that guy who's just there waiting on his next opportunity because he doesn't have, he's not bought in. He doesn't feel like he's part of the family.